No intro today, no special fancy anything. We're not doing live phone calls today. This is just going to be a live stream, so I won't be able to play my bits that I would normally like to play, like, it is what it is, or whatever it is. So we're just going to be talking about two issues that I feel like really needed to be discussed now. I was going to maybe wait to discuss them on the podcast, but I was like, I can't wait 6 days. There'll be other news 6 days from now, perhaps, and that I'll want to be covering, and other people will be covering these things more than they've already done so already. I mean, there are people who've been mocking, apparently even the White House Twitter account. I missed the tweet, but apparently the White House Twitter account was even mocking the first one. However, the first one, while funny and amusing because it has to do with his big announcement, and everyone was making all these sort of speculation as to what he might be announcing. Some people thought it was maybe his running mate. If it was going to be his running mate, I was expecting it to be Carrie Lake. Other people were expecting, running third party, becoming Speaker of the House. I would have loved to see him announced running third party, but that still could happen. Who knows? But I don't think anybody was expecting this grift. And nobody should be surprised when Donald Trump starts grifting, but nobody I think anticipated this ridiculousness right here. And that is the Trump cards, collecttrumpcards.com. The limited edition digital trading cards, only $99 per card. These are just like baseball cards, but you collect them digitally on your computer or phone. All you need is an email address and a credit card to start collecting 1, 10, 20, or 100. Instantly become part of the new league of collectors. Yes, Donald Trump has made these digital trading cards, aka NFTs. Yeah, Wes, you don't even get a real card. It's just like the regular other NFTs. You get an image. Each image is hooked to like some crypto blockchain or whatever. There's an FAQ down in the bottom for the NFT, so you can PDQ check to see how you are SOL by buying this POS. Just did it all on the fly. So, and not only are you does each digital trading card not just a rare collectible, it automatically enters you into a sweepstakes for a chance to win thousands of incredible prizes and meet the one and only number 45. Now it says hashtag 45 or number 45. Does that mean, are they going to find some way to get around whether or not you get to meet Donald Trump? Are you going to have like an animated, or whatever? Did you get a virtual 45? Well, in some cases you do. You can click here to enter the sweepstakes without making a purchase. I guess you have to be able to do that. Trump digital trading cards, NFTs, are intended as collectible items for individual enjoyment only and not for investment vehicles. That's the small print. People were looking at NFTs as, this is another way to make money, and these things are supposed to grow exponentially. Unlike, Hal Spark shirts, the NFT shirts, which are amusing. Sweepstakes bonus. With every digital collectible you buy, you're entered into the Trump sweepstakes. Thousands of prizes. See below for some of them. Miami dinner with Donald Trump. Look at this BS. Trump as a sheriff. Trump with his Trump gold bars. Play golf with Trump and your friends. Go to Mar-a-Lago group cocktail hour. Individual Zoom call with Donald. Group Zoom session with 45. Hand-signed memorabilia. Now, this is interesting, though, because this signature looks like it actually almost says Donald J. Trump, but it doesn't look like his regular signature, which is weird. So I guess for this one, if you win it, not only do you get the digital NFT, which we need to think of a way of words for NFT that will describe these but not be non-fungible tokens. Like, for example, nincompoop, farthead Trump. I don't know, but something better than that, clearly. golden edition signed trading cards. Win one of these 25 incredibly rare gold digital NFTs, digitally signed by Donald Trump. So it's not even, you get another, you buy one to get another one for free, maybe. And here's the, buy 45 digital trading cards and you're guaranteed a ticket to a dinner with the president. I don't know if that means you're going to actually meet the president or get to talk to the president, but you have to buy 45 of them at $100 a pop, which is $4,500, $4,500 to buy these NFT crap, and you get to have dinner with a piece of crap. Strict maximum limit of 100 NFT and or sweepstake entries per person. So you can only buy 100 of them. So I guess if you have 45, you could, maybe you'll get guaranteed 2 tickets if you buy 100 of them. So if you buy 100 of them times 100, that's 10 grand. Who is going to spend 10 grand on this garbage? Well, I tell you who's going to spend 10 grand on this garbage. The poorly educated that Donald Trump loves. These people are going to spend their money trying to get one of these NFTs because they're, even though it says it's not an investment vehicle, they'll be like, I'm going to become rich one of these Donald Trump NFTs. That would be awesome if I get one of them NFTs, right? And they'll be, putting out a second mortgage on their trailer just to make sure that they can get their hands on, well, not even their hands on them, get their email address on one of these pieces of garbage. Buy your trading card with major credit card or crypto. All you need is an email address. Now just $99. What a great steal. Not just $99, huh? Again, it says Donald Trump trading cards are intended as collectible items for individual enjoyment only, not for investment vehicles. Step 1, store your Trump cards. Step 2, purchase your Trump cards. How do you store your Trump cards if you haven't purchased them yet? Step 3, receive your cards and sweepstakes code. So wouldn't it be 2, 3, then 1? Maybe we should say, get yourself an email address to put your Trump cards in. I mean, who doesn't have an email address right now? Well, I reckon I didn't need an email address till now, but hell, I got to get me one of those newfangled email addresses. Maybe I'll be able to get one of my Trump cards there as well. And so, I mean, him with the stock market, him with Hollywood, him with Superman laser beam eyes looking like the greatest American hero, him with a wrestling outfit also looking like a superhero with his belt with the American flag, him with a shotgun, him in front of the Statue of Liberty with his weird thumbs up pose. I wonder if he should have one that's animated that does his dance where he's like stroking all the people and right beside him, pump, pump, pump. Anyway, this is your first and only chance to acquire this exclusive limited edition today for only $99. Only $99. I mean, is the price going to go up? I mean, are people going to rush and get it? Because what happens if this goes up to $200, Martha? I got to go buy this right now or else I'm going to miss out. So how does the sweepstakes work? Lots of whatever. After purchasing Trump cards, you go to wintrumpprizes.com to see if you're a winner. Enter your sweepstakes code. Well, I don't have a sweepstakes code, so I can't be doing that at the moment. I agreed about it, but imagine if you just randomly guessed what the sweepstake code is and you actually get one. You actually win dinner with Donald for nothing. That would be hilarious. I'm sure it's a GWID or something like that, or maybe it's, I don't know. How long does it take to retrieve my Trump digital trading card and my digital wallet? Once you complete your personal digital trading card, collectible card, collect Trump cards, we'll send you an email with your Trump trading card and sweepstakes details. Please be patient. There's a lot of interest in Really? There's a lot of interest? How do they know there's a lot of interest? Are they just manufacturing a lot of interest? I mean, Jesus Louise. This is just ridiculousness. But I have other questions about this too. Clearly he's using this as a way to grift his supporters for more money, because previously he was grifting his supporters by, having them contribute to his campaign websites and then using those campaign packs to pay his legal bills or whatever. But here, is this going to run afoul potentially of campaign finance laws? Because he's already announced he's running for president. Now he's creating these NFTs to try and raise money based off of his candidacy that, I guess he was already notable I guess he was already notable, so you don't need the presidency or the candidacy to be able to try and get these. I mean, I think people, even if he hadn't announced that he was running, he would still probably have the people he would normally be able to grift buying these hand over fist or whatever. So, see, Jolie, the whole thing is ridiculous. It doesn't seem like it can even be real. That's how ridiculous it is. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, let's play this. Let's see what the video says, because this ought to be good. Oh, we had to actually hit play. There's his laser beam eyes. Pew, pew.
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln.
No.
Better than Washington.
No. How about no?
With an important announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection right here and right now.
What?
They're called Trump Digital Trading Cards. These cards feature some of the really incredible artwork pertaining to my life and my career. It's been
pertaining to his life and his career, including his, his travels to space and his being a sheriff. Really? Like, come on. Look at that face he's making now. Like that, he just doesn't believe. I mean, he probably doesn't even believe it himself that people are actually going to do. Remember that time when Donald Trump stood in front of the Statue of Liberty, holding a Statue of Liberty torch by himself? Remember that? Remember when that happened?
Right here and right now. They're called Trump Digital Trading Cards. These cards feature some of the really incredible artwork pertaining to.
That actually looked more like Biden than Trump. If you really look at it, like. I mean, that looks more like a cross between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders than it looks like Donald Trump. Not that I would buy it if it was either of those two either, because it's just freaking ridiculous.
Incredible artwork pertaining to my life and my career. It's been very exciting. You can collect your Trump digital cards just like a baseball card.
Except you can't put these in the spokes of your tires on your bicycle.
Or other collectibles. Here's one of the best parts. Each card comes with an automatic chance to win amazing prizes like dinner with me. I don't know if that's an amazing prize.
Like dinner with me, I don't know if it's an amazing prize. It probably isn't.
But
here's the thing. Dinner with Trump, is he gonna? Can you purposely try to get him mad so he'll throw ketchup against the wall? I mean, that might be funny.
What we have, or golf with you and a group of your friends at one of my beautiful golf courses. And
that would be in my luck. I would buy one of these as a gag and I'd get the golf one and I'd have no idea how to play. I mean, I know the rules of golf, but I'm not a golfer. I can't play golf. I'd still probably find a way to beat him.
They are beautiful. I'm also doing Zoom calls, a one-on-one meeting, autographing memorabilia, and so much more. We're doing a lot. My official Trump digital.
Remember that time when Donald Trump rode a blue and red elephant? Yeah. On whatever that is that the elephant is traveling on across the plains or across the Serengeti. That's part of Donald Trump's life. Him riding the blue and red elephant. Yeah, we did see the one with him. It's him holding a statue, holding a thing in front of the statue, holding a torch in front of the Statue of
Digital
Liberty.
trading cards are $99, which doesn't sound like very much for what you're getting.
It sounds like absolutely way too much for what you're getting. I wouldn't pay $1 for these darn things. I mean, you're just basically, you would probably get more enjoyment and get more done with it if you took $100 and just shoved it down the toilet. I mean, seriously.
Buy one and you will join a very exclusive.
Cynthia from if you won dinner plus one with Trump, would you take it? That's a tough one. What are the rules? What are the rules that I'd have to follow? Can I get into an argument with him? Can I argue politics with him? And do I get to throw ketchup on the wall too? I mean, that would be funny, but probably not. I'd probably have to, because I try not to eat dinner with Nazis. So let me see. Let's go back for the thing. Let's go back through. Let's see. Nimrod fart trader. I was going to use trader. That's right, Aaron. Thank you for reminding me. I was going to use trader as one of the ones. One of the two. We need to find a good N and a good F though. I think they're going to want real cards of high quality. Tarot, Gypsy, whatever. Don't use Gypsy, it's a slur. What's the likelihood they never appreciate in value? 150%. They'll probably depreciate in value as soon as you get them, and then they'll probably figure out a way that, it'll be a scam like Trump University or whatever, because people will have duplicates. I'm calling him Captain Ketchup for now on. Nice. I hate when people say that they lost their trading cards when they moved out in college. That was terrible. They didn't realize how much they would be worth, I guess, at the time. His comb over has a comb over, LOL. Pokemon Go, that would be funny. In Pokemon Go, you probably get more enjoyment out of spending money on that than you would on spending money on these darn cards thing. Is Trump trolling us? How is this real? I think it's real, but it's real stupid, but it's real. I missed what Elizabeth said. He ripped off a Mike Pillow ad. Hilarious. Nazi effing traitor. I think Patty Whack wins. Nazi effing traitor. Bingo. Yahtzee. That's what it's going to be. His Nazi effing traitor cards. That's it. That's it. That's the winner. I mean, I can't imagine another one. Hey, Kimchi, thank you for joining. Wes, Elasia, Elizabeth, Patty, Bill, Human F Being, Cynthia, Wes. Who am I missing? Scroll up. I think I'm Aaron, Jolie, obviously. I think I got. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Patty Whack. They could make a Mike Flynn card. Trump. They should make a card where you get a pardon. It comes with a pardon.
Community. It's my community, and I think it's something you're going to like, and you're going to like it a lot. They also make perfect gifts.
Pew pew. His frickin' greatest American hero. Believe it or not, I'm scamming my fans. I never thought I could grift so hard.
So you can buy them with your credit card or crypto. All you need is an email address. Go to collecttrumpcards.com and buy your Trump digital trading cards right now before they
are so, like, Trump digital trading cards, NFTs, are intended as collectible items for individual enjoyment only, not for, they are just making sure that you see that that's going to be on every single thing that you see, that they're not investment vehicles, so that nobody can come after and be like, I thought I was going to get rich off these things. No, I said on my thing that it's just for entertainment. It's not an investment vehicle.
They are all gone, and they will be gone. This is my first official Trump trading card NFT collection.
First official one. So does that mean that if this grift goes over well, we'll have version 2.0? One can only hope, right? A fool and his money are soon parted, and there are a lot of fools that like him. And I guess the idea here is that people are going to want to buy them all up like Pokemon cards. Got to catch them all. And get all of, buy them all up, and that way other people will be like, well, I missed out my opportunity on getting one of these Trump cards. I want to get one, and then they'll be like, well, you can buy one from me, but when you buy one from me, you'll have to pay like $200 for it. They'll be like, oh, I'll pay $200. That's a steal. And then that person will try and sell it for $400, or I guess that's what they're going to try and do with their collectability things or whatever. But obviously, they're probably just going to be like, nah. They're probably only such a small market for these things that they're probably going to just not have any demand for them, and people will be trying to cash out like at 10 cents on the dollar.
And you get a chance to meet me. Go to collect Trump.
Oh my God, look at that one. Remember that Donald Trump says that these are all part of his career. Remember when Donald Trump put on a jetpack and flew into outer space? I mean, kind of wish that did happen, because without all of the gear protecting him, we wouldn't have to worry about him anymore. But holy crap. I mean, has anyone ever made money off of NFTs? It's possible that they may have at the beginning. I don't know. I don't know what the record is or whatever. Kimchi, why did it take 6 years or 50 really to come up with a Trump card? Yeah, these are these are Trump cards. But unlike the Ace of Spades, it won't get you anything in a game. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I didn't watch this video yet before. I knew about the website, but I hadn't watched this video yet. and I hadn't seen this card yet. I don't know which one's my favorite of these. If it's this one, or if it's his with the Statue of Liberty, or if it's the elephant, the blue and red elephant, or what.
Cards.com right now, and remember.
Oh, Donald Trump is the wrestler, because we all remember Donald Trump famously shaved Vince McMahon's head either at WrestleMania or on an episode of Monday Night Raw. So, I mean, and Monday Night Raw is not just what he was able to do with Stormy Daniels for after paying her $150,000.
Remember, Christmas is...
Oh my God, him wearing a cowboy hat, riding a white stallion, holding an American flag up high. I'm surprised it's not a Blue Lives Matter flag, like, woohoo! Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised there's not a unicorn on it. Unicorn horn, so to speak, whatever. Let's see, who else should have these celebrity cards? Dolly Parton, Elvis. I mean, Dolly Parton and Elvis might have actually more collectability than this garbage. Let's see. Let's see if we can answer that first question. Has anyone made money off of NFT? Has anyone made money off NFT? The first question is, has anyone made money off of YouTube? This 36-year-old made over $109,000 in about 9 months selling NFTs. He went from living paycheck to paycheck to making over $109,000. In 2021, Brittany Pierre made over $109,000 selling non-fungible tokens or NFTs of her photography and flipping other NFTs she bought for a profit. Before that, she was struggling to pay rent. Her financial situation was touch and go. So there's one example of somebody who was able to make money off of an NFT. I'm sure there are others as well. Let's see. I lost my search. Darn it. Fat fingering this stuff. Let's see. But yeah, so at least one person has made money off of it. It's like an MLM, only the people at the top actually make money. I mean, you have to get in. We had the MLM show. Some MLMs, I guess, yeah, it'd be like that. The Melaleuca one. I've since reduced myself back down to one of what I'm doing, just because, yeah, whatever. But I've been doing the Melaleuca one for
coming, and this makes a great...
Oh my God, him and his Christmas tie with 45 and a Santa hat. Remember when Donald Trump wore a Christmas hat? I don't think he's ever worn a Santa hat. Can anybody find a picture of Donald Trump in a Santa hat that's not on one of these pieces of trash?
Christmas gift.
No purchase necessary.
It's a Christmas grift. You said that wrong, Trump. Christmas grift.
Void where prohibited.
Believe it or not, I'm in front of Trump Tower. Never thought I could make so much money off of these dupes. The last time that Trump looked that fit was never. These are simply car wash tokens for your Velociraptor. Nice. These are really bad Photoshop BS. The faces look nothing like Tramp. Let's see. Yes, I see the kitty. She's very cute. Anyway, so that's the funny thing. I can't believe people are falling for this garbage, although I guess I can believe that they're falling for it because they are falling for it because they voted for him and they go to still donate money to him, and even though he's a grifter, they donated money to him in the name of Herschel Walker, even though the money never made it to Herschel Walker. So yeah, I mean, he's just gonna grift as many people as possible. Hey Leanna, welcome. Hey Tim. He's going to grift as many people as possible, and this is just another one of his grifts. So, I mean, I'm not buying one, clearly. I have no desire. I don't have $100 lying around to throw in the toilet to begin with. If I was going to throw it in the toilet, I would, probably have, again, much more enjoyment from it. So, but here's the bigger thing. Here is the more problematic thing I saw today, because the only people that are going to fall for this are the people that are stupid enough to vote for him and to still support him anyway. So I don't feel sorry for them. They should know better by now that he's going to grift, he's going to take advantage of them, that there's no excuse for allowing yourself to be fooled by him except for choosing to be willfully ignorant. So again, fool in his money, as P.T. Barnum said, a fool in his money are quickly parted or soon parted or whatever. So yeah, there are many fools who will buy this crap, and maybe some people might make money off of it. Maybe some people be like, I can't believe I got me a Trump card. It's signed by him digitally too. That's awesome. Whatever. So the bigger problem is what Kari Lake tweeted about it when he announced his policy on free speech that he will be having. But again, what I said before I'm wondering if it would be, if people could stretch it to say, like, this is a violation of campaign finance laws because he's already started running for office and now he's trying to raise money another way with something else. I'm sure he has a lawyer that says it's legal, but I mean, Trump had lawyers that said that what he did in the 2000 election was legal, and some of them, like Rudy, lost their law license. So that goes to show you how much you should believe the stuff that are said by people that are hired by Donald Trump. But anyway, let's see. Your son or Shelby calling favors everyone goes down to the casino and buys $1 million worth of bumblebees. What? Somebody asked an interesting question on Mary Trump's show. Would he do the mass suicide thing Jim Jones style? I don't know if he would do that. I mean, did Jim Jones commit suicide? I mean, he might. See, here's the thing. Maybe if he felt like there was nothing left, maybe he might. But I don't think he'd ever feel that part. I don't think he's capable of feeling that he has nothing left. I don't think he's capable of believing that he's lost. Whatever he does, he will always think that he won, and that it's just the other people's fault for not recognizing that he won. So I don't think he necessarily has that in him to do that. And even if he did, because I mean, why would he want to lose his supporters? Why would he want to lose the people that are willing to give him all the money? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. He would want to continue having grifting off of them for years and years and years. Kimchi, I don't feel sorry for them either. I mock them to their face because their such stupidity is willful. Well, he kind of did that with the mask and vaccine thing. I mean, but he has advocated for the vaccine though, and there are people who are annoyed at the fact that they still support him, but they don't like the fact that he still touts the vaccine, because again, he's not going to admit that he was wrong about the vaccine. He's going to tout that he was right about the vaccine. Now he'll say you shouldn't be forced to take it, but he's gonna always point at that as saying this is one of my successes, despite the fact that a lot of his supporters don't consider the vaccines good at all, simply because of the fact that he'll never admit that he's wrong, even if it loses him votes. He'll never admit that he's wrong. He will never say he's sorry. He will never show like any bit of emotion. He will always wanting to spin it around. He's always going to want to, sweeten everything up, sugarcoat it, whitewash it, etc. Let's see. Anything else in the chat before we move on? I would rather use money to wipe my butt than give a penny to the orange trader. Yes. So again, what was it that Patty said? What was it? What was the name of the coins again? Let's scroll back to see Patty's, because I don't want to miss Nazi effing trader. There you go. Nazi effing trader is what his NFTs stand for. So there you go. But here's the next thing. Here's the thing that Kari Lake said, tweeted, and this is much more dangerous. Absolutely much more dangerous. Let's load this page back up now that we have the video up and running. Trump, make America great again. Wait, is it make America great again, or is it make America great again? Like my guy, because they made America great once, and then I guess Biden took president and he stopped being great, so we need to make America great again. It's kind of like one of those Friends scenes where like, well, they don't know that we know they know we know. Yeah. So, and then, but for a while it was keep America great, I guess, when he was running for re-election. Whatever. So here we go. Donald Trump's grand idea on what he would do when when he's inaugurated as president in 2025. Leanna, I'll get to DeSantis in Florida in a little bit. I don't want to necessarily get distracted. Make attorneys get attorneys again. Yes. Magoo over and over.
If we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country.
I mean, I'm surprised he added the free in front of it, because if we don't have X, we don't have a country. If we don't have borders, we don't have a country. If we don't have people kissing my ass all day, then we don't have a country. So, we don't have a free country, is, I guess, adding new to that. But okay, so we would still have a country without free speech. It would just not be as much of a good one. But again, as we'll see over the course of this video, I don't even think I didn't even watch all of it yet. I watched like half of it and was like, I need to do a video on this. I need to do a live reaction on this, because this is so horribly wrong and so horribly dangerous that I was like, I need to do a video on this. I need to do a live stream on that. So let's see. Let's continue.
It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple, just like dominoes, one by one. They'll go down. That's why today I'm announcing...
Well, usually it's the conservatives that be like, we have the First Amendment because of the Second Amendment. So he's just saying that all the amendments rest on the First Amendment. They all rest on free speech, which, I mean, it's fine. Yes, we all have the right. We should also have the right to freedom of speech. And it's just the conservatives, Donald Trump is specifically, doesn't understand what it actually means to have freedom of speech and what is protected and what is not.
My plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime and to
shatter the left-wing censorship regime. Ooh, big scary words, because he's got to villainize the left, because that's the problem in his eyes, because the left do things like correct his false statements and generally want the truth to be out there.
To reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans.
No American has lost the right to free speech. Whatever the Twitter files say, no, I think Matt Gaetz is one of the files on Twitter, but just a different kind of file.
And reclaim is a very important word in this case, because they've taken it away.
They've not taken it away. And I love this camera view. It's like, I'm going to look off in the corner right now, and then I'm going to talk this way for a while. There's someone over here who needs my attention. I don't know, maybe it's Melania, or maybe it's the new wife that I'm going to use to replace Melania.
In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats...
A sinister group of deep space deep state bureaucrats. I can't even say it right because it's so absurd. In a world where deep state bureaucrats seek to threaten your freedom of speech, one man stands against them. Donald Trump, Orange Trader, coming soon to theaters near you.
Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and...
Silicon Valley tyrants and left-wing activists. We're all taking away your freedom of speech.
Depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people.
Yeah, manipulate and silence the American. Nobody is silenced. Okay? Nobody has been silenced. Everybody has the right to say what they want to say. What conservatives don't understand is that if, like, let's say a conservative wanted to come on my show or my podcast or on this live stream and want to say things, if I said, no, you can't come on my show and say these things, according to Donald Trump, I'm censoring that person. According to Donald Trump, I am violating that person's free speech rights. No, you are violating my free speech rights if you assert that I'm somehow required to carry other people. Now, I do allow people who are conservative to call in and talk on the show. I do sometimes put the conservative point of view out there so I can be critical of it. But like this right here, I'm being critical of this point of view as it looks like he's taking a giant dump on screen. But they don't. There's no requirement for me. If I had a website, I don't have to allow you to say what you want to say. You're violating my free speech rights by saying that I can't have rules and regulations and I can't keep people off my site. And there's going to be some dangerous things he says that they're going to have some unintended consequences if some of these things get implemented, but other things are going to be much more dangerous than just their unintended consequences. So let's continue doing. And it's funny, again, talking of free speech, you have Elon Musk, who apparently purged a whole bunch of liberal media types today because they wrote articles about Elon Musk. Well, what happened to their free speech rights? According to their argument, Elon Musk is going to be Hypocrite of the Week next week too for that, because Twitter booted off people because they, again, talk badly about Elon Musk. Now, freedom of speech would say that Musk would absolutely have no problem. There's no problem with Elon Musk kicking anybody he wants off of his website because he owns it and he doesn't need to give other people a way to have their voices on the things that he owns. That's how freedom of speech is supposed to work. But no, Donald Trump seems to think that if a liberal is stopping a conservative from speaking anything that they want to speak on their site, that's somehow a violation of free speech. But I'm sure he doesn't believe that what Musk did is a violation of free speech as well. So
they have collaborated to suppress vital information on everything from elections to public health.
Vital information, and public health, ivermectin. They don't want you putting on information about ivermectin because it's not FDA approved to treat COVID, and you shouldn't be going and taking ivermectin without a prescription from your doctor, and your doctor shouldn't be prescribing ivermectin unless you have worms. Now look, if your doctor tells you that you should take an ivermectin prescription and you want to take it, I have no problem with that, but the idea these people kept on going and getting ivermectin from animal supply stores, whatever, yeah, but spreading that information is bad. And he thinks that people should be able to spread whatever information that they want, even if it's untrue, and that I am somehow, if I was running Facebook, if I was running Twitter, if I was running some sort of social media company, that I should be required to allow those people to say those things on my site. And if I don't want misinformation on my site, then I'm somehow a bad guy because I've squashed somebody's ability to say falsehoods, especially dangerous falsehoods.
The censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed. The
censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed. So I guess they're going to lose their free speech rights, right?
It must happen immediately.
It must happen immediately. I'm going to drop the bomb on them.
Here's my plan. First,
it took them a minute and 14 seconds to actually get to the plan. 1 minute and 14 seconds of hyperbole.
Within hours of my inauguration,
he's already assuming that he's going to win the presidency, but within hours of his inauguration, this is what he's going to do.
I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens.
So let's consider what this means, what this right here means, because this is where it starts getting into the territory of dangerousness. What I hear when he says this is that if the CDC determines that some entity or individual is spreading information that's factually incorrect about a virus or about anything sort of sickness or anything health related, and they went ahead and countered that and sent information to maybe like Facebook and say, look, this is the truth about what's going on here, and people are posting things about that. If they did anything that, would be a violation of his executive order. So Donald Trump wants to prevent people from being corrected when they're wrong and being able to spread dangerous misinformation without repercussions, the idea that the elections were stolen, or the idea that the January 6th folks were just tourists.
I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis or disinformation.
So again, let's listen to that again. Let's just listen to that again.
From being used to label
I didn't get it all the way back.
The lawful speech of American citizens. I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis or disinformation.
So it's not even that he's prohibiting entities from the government to reach out to entities or individuals and try and mark those and try to say, look, these things that are being said on your website are false. Here's the truth about it. maybe you should correct the people on your website. He is going to stop if you're spending money, he's going to stop them from spending money from saying anything is misinformation. So if people wanted to say something like, you could get HIV by hugging somebody. If somebody said that out loud, which is what they used to believe, if somebody said that on a blog or whatever, the CDC, and that was an idea that started becoming rampant again because these people hate science, Donald Trump would prohibit HHS, the CDC, etc., from even announcing that that's false information. I don't know if they would be able to then put out an ad that wouldn't target the speech and that instead said, if they just put out an ad that said, you cannot get HIV by hugging, which you can't. Maybe, I don't know if that would be okay or not. Probably not, according to him. But, they would not be allowed to say what this site is saying, what this conservative news outlet is saying is about X, Y, or Z is factually incorrect. He would ban them from doing their job. He would make public safety less safe. Hey, TV2, thank you for joining. Appreciate you for joining us as well.
And I will begin the process of identifying and firing every federal bureaucrat who has engaged in domestic censorship, directly or indirectly, whether they are the Department of Homeland Security.
That was a horrible edit.
The Department of Health, Human Services, the FBI, the DOJ, no matter who they are. Second, I will order.
So he's going to fire everybody who he, in his opinion, believes censored people. I'm sure he's not going to fire other people who censored folks who were left-leaning or progressive speaking. If they were corrected, he probably won't take any action against them. He's only going to fire the people that are going after the people that support Donald Trump. Do you see where this is going?
The Department of Justice to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime, which is...
I see. When I first heard this, I thought he said the new online. I'm like, oh, he said online. The new online censorship regime.
Absolutely destructive and terrible, and to aggressively prosecute any and all crimes identified.
What crimes would be identified? How on earth is he going to find a crime here? I mean, they'll try and manufacture ones, I suppose, but it's ridiculous. It's not like the people who are trying to, report that things are falsehoods that are really falsehoods are doing things like invading the Capitol or saying that it's going to be wild. Gibson Media, hey, Dan, come on. What has Trump done? Everything that is good for the rest of us. He come through and now that's his goal. No, that's not his goal. If you listen to this video, his goal is clear. He wants to be able to make it so that nobody can say that something is misinformation. He wants to be able to spread as much propaganda as he can about whoever his political enemies are and not have anybody be able to counteract it in the federal in any sort of official capacity, or it seems like in any capacity of corporations or academia. So we'll get to that in a second. So look at the waste of time Dems wasted on. If Trump would just go away, we would stop wasting time on. Well, I mean, he should be punished for any crimes that he committed, but he should just go away and stop being a threat. If he would stop being a threat, then guess what? We would probably care about him less. But he is an active threat. He is an active threat to freedom with this post, with this video. Let's continue.
These include possible violations of federal civil rights law, campaign finance laws, federal election law, securities law, and antitrust laws, the Hatch Act, and a host of other potential criminal, civil, regulatory, and constitutional offenses.
I mean, that's a very wide spread of things that he's going to try and pigeonhole some people into.
To assist in these...
Alina Geyer, Trump sounds like the true Nazi. This is it. This is what I've been talking about. What I talked about, back in 2016, I was like, Trump is acting like he is following Adolf Hitler's playbook to a T. And people were like, well, there's no concentration camps. I'm like, no, he's not 1945 Hitler. He's 1933 Hitler or before. Gibson admitted, threat to 2, we lost no freedoms while in office. Well, people have lost freedoms because he was in office, because he appointed 3 Christo-fascist activist conservative justices to the court and made this an activist court. He made it so that we can, people have now lost the overall right to have an abortion, and now states were all able to automatically, set these trigger laws into effect that would automatically deny people the right to have body autonomy. They've already signaled with Clarence Thomas that they're going to go after Obergefell, that they're going to go after Griswold, that they're going to go after maybe even Lawrence v. Texas, all because Donald Trump got into office and was able to appoint 3 members to the Supreme Court, including this stolen seat that was stolen by when Obama didn't get to name Alito's replacement, to them not following the same rules that they set for Alito when Ginsburg passed away, to the shenanigans that went on to convince Kennedy to resign so that his successor Kavanaugh could come in. Those are just a few of the things that Donald Trump was able to do as president, because the actions of a president can last longer than his presidency, especially when that president gets to name 3 Supreme Court justices. Gibson Media, how a Nazi? That's silly. Well, considering the fact that he ran on scapegoating an entire religion, he said that he wanted to ban all Muslims from entering this country during the campaign until we figure out what's going on. He said that he wanted to. He also was scapegoating the murderers and rapists that Mexico was sending us, and and then he also used the whole idea of the Lügen press. Adolf Hitler talked about the Lügen press, or the lying press, i.e. what Donald Trump has called fake news.
Efforts, I am urging House Republicans to immediately send preservation letters. And we have to
preservation letters.
Do this right now to the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, and every Silicon Valley tech giant, ordering them not to destroy evidence of censorship.
I mean, I don't know what authority they would have to direct that. Maybe when they actually take control of the House of Representatives and have the subpoena power, at that point they could send those letters, but they don't have the authority to do that right now. And I don't think that they're going to be doing that. And again, this is him basically saying, if he's going to now say at some point later on in the future that because the Republicans in Congress didn't do that now, and when they can't find the things that they want to think that they can find, they'll be like, they must have destroyed it because they got rid of it before the Republicans could take over.
Third, upon my inauguration as president, I will ask Congress to send a bill to my desk revising Section 230 to get big online platforms out of censorship business.
He's going to get big online platforms out of the censorship business. So again, if you're a big online platform like Twitter, Section 230 says, we're going to get to it real quickly, no provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider, and otherwise online intermediaries that host or republish speech are protected against a range of laws that might otherwise be used to hold them legally responsible for what others say and do. But just because a website, this is where conservatives mess up logic. Just because the law makes it so that a website can't be held accountable for what's being said on their website, it does not then mean that the website is not allowed to then censor information that they don't want on their website. If I own Twitter, if I was Elon Musk and I owned Twitter and I wanted to ban any information about ivermectin on my website, I should be free to do so because it's my website and I should be able to do so. If Facebook wants to fact check people, if Facebook wants to put information that says, here's why this information is wrong, then they should be able to do so. And if they want to kick users off for spreading misinformation, they should be able to do so because that's what free speech means. Free speech is not forcing people to put information out there that they don't agree with. You know, if they really got what they're saying, we would go back to the fairness doctrine, which would then require people to have equal time, like they used to have. So if you had conservative points of view, you'd have to have liberal points of view and vice versa. So you wouldn't be able to have a 24-hour news channel that was just conservatives. You would have to then give equal time. You couldn't have a radio station that was just conservative. You would have to allow the people to have equal time to make the opposite points of view. They got rid of that. But they're not going to target, like, if they're not going to go after Truth Social. If Donald Trump's president, he's not going to go after Truth Social. He's not going to go after Gab. He's not going to go after Your Spot or any of the other ridiculous new social media sites that are being created under the guise of free speech. They're going to turn a blind eye to those when they, quote, censor. But when the progressive sites, counter any misinformation that's given by, and look, I've shared information on Facebook that was deemed, quote, misinformation, and I got, a Facebook jail sentence for it, but they don't care about that. They want to see that happen. They don't care about when it happens to liberals. They only care about when it happens to conservatives. And I've found that I've seen conservatives on Facebook get less punishment for the same actions that I've gotten punished for. Like if I called somebody a plague rat, it was like instantly, you're in Facebook jail. But I've seen Republicans call people sheep, and it's all in a similar dehumanizing way, and they didn't get held to the same standards. So Facebook in those areas were being harsher to liberals than they were against conservatives. But again, the conservatives don't care about that. They only care about when the conservatives are being. Conservatives don't like to be told what to do. I read a whole thread about this a few months ago. Conservatives don't like to be told what to do, and conservatives love to tell other people what to do. Gibson Media, you never see liberals banned. Well, then you haven't followed my page. You haven't. I mean, I've had several Facebook jail sentences for things that I said. One time I shared a picture of the woman who was holding the Auschwitz sign, the work brings freedom or whatever sign. She was holding it, and I was critical of her holding the sign. Facebook put me in Facebook jail for 3 days because I shared a hateful sign. I couldn't even give criticism of this woman because I was deemed as sharing anti-Semitic imagery. But I've reported many things for anti-Semitism on Facebook, and they were like, no, we don't see the problem with this. It's crazy. And we'll get to more of the chat in a second. I'll respond to Gibson and other people as well. So we'll talk about that in a second.
From now on, digital platforms should only qualify for immunity protection under Section 230 if they meet high standards of neutrality, transparency, fairness, and non-discrimination.
Non-discrimination. So he's going to judge that probably not based on and this is my guess, not based on whether or not they're treating people equally when it comes to whether or not they delete their items, but on how many people get deleted or how many people are censored. So if conservatives are sharing 80% of the false information, so conservatives get 80% of the bans or of the posts getting deleted or whatever, Donald Trump's going to say, look, they're being unfair to the conservatives because 80% of what's being pulled is from conservative sources and not liberal sources, ignoring the fact that they're making up the vast majority of false information that would be out there in my hypothetical situation, and I'm sure in fact as well. Let's continue.
We should require these platforms to increase their efforts to take down unlawful content such as child exploitation and promoting terrorism while dramatically curtailing their power to arbitrarily restrict lawful speech.
See, I don't know what website is allowing for child exploitation, but just because that's just a cop-out because they're making I don't know what website. Facebook isn't allowing for child exploitation. Twitter's not allowing for child exploitation. But again, if they want to censor based on their own set of guidelines, they're able to do so. Forcing them to put content that they don't want on their website is a violation of their First Amendment rights.
Fourth, we need to break up the entire toxic censorship industry that has
So not only do we have a cartel, we have an industry as well.
arisen under the false guise of tackling so-called mis- and disinformation.
So-called mis and disinformation, i.e. things that he feel are true that are not are mis and disinformation. Like the fact that, when he says that he won the election, that's misinformation, that's disinformation. But he doesn't want that to be called out. He wants to be able to say what he wants to say without anybody telling him that he's wrong. He wants to be able to say anything without being challenged. And again, and that goes against my First Amendment rights. If I'm gonna say, if I own a website and I say, well, this is wrong, Donald Trump shouldn't be able to come after me for censoring him or for correcting him or whatever. You don't get to say things. The freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from repercussion of that speech. If you're saying something wrong and people want to point it out, that's their right and responsibility to point it out. Let's continue. Once I can get the mouse in the right location.
The federal government should immediately stop funding all nonprofits and academic programs that support this authoritarian project.
Which is, again, a very vague statement that's going to be made for he believes that you should take away funding from those places that he believes is doing these nefarious things. So he's going to take away money from places that are doing things like correcting his falsehoods, correcting the falsehoods of people who are spouting things about ivermectin or who are somehow otherwise pointing out misinformation under the name that it's censorship.
If any U.S. university is discovered to have engaged in censorship activities or election interferences in the past.
Election interference. Again, these people call asking Twitter to take down posts or to correct posts or whatever election interference. Nobody's being interfered with. Just because if I tell Twitter, look, this is a false statement, you might want to consider taking it down, and it's about an election, that doesn't stop anybody from going to vote. It's not election interference. It's another one of these BS arguments made by Trump et al. This crazy arguments that are being made that just get repeated and regurgitated and recycled. And when he gets his way, if he gets his way, guess what? Then you're not going to be able to question that.
Such as flagging social media content for removal of blacklisting, those universities should lose federal research dollars and federal student loan support for a period of 5 years and maybe more. We should also enact new laws laying out clear criminal penalties for federal bureaucrats who partner with private entities to do an end run around the Constitution and deprive Americans of their First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment rights.
The First Amendment right, again, if a federal government bureaucrat wants to say, look, these are false information, and this is false information on this website, and if the website says, yeah, that's false, so we're going to take it down, again, you don't have if the business decides, well, we're going to take it down, the person doesn't have the right. I don't have the right to say whatever I want on your platforms. You don't have the right to say whatever you want on my platform. Donald Trump wants to stop people from being able to say things that he doesn't like. He's promoting censorship. He is promoting censorship. This is another example of hypocrisy. He wants to censor the people who criticize the people who spread misinformation because he benefits by the spread of misinformation. He benefits by the ability to be able to say false things and go unquestioned, because that way more of the poorly educated folks that he said that he loves are going to be able to be duped even further.
In other words, deprive them of their vote. And
that's not depriving anybody of their vote. One has nothing to do with it. If I tell them, if some site says you're no longer allowed to post on my site because I disagree with what you're posting, like if I tried to go to Gab, I think Gab is the one that's run by the anti-Semite. If I tried to go to Gab and started trying to post all about the anti-Semitism that's going on in this country, and the owner of Gab goes, sorry, you're booted from the site, I don't want you on my site spouting your stuff, that's the owner of Gab's right to do so. It's not a violation of my free speech rights if he would kick me off the site. It's not a violation of my voting rights either. It has nothing to do with my voting rights. I can still go vote. Just because I can't post one thing on certain websites, that doesn't mean I've lost my right to vote. It's absurd.
You lose those elections, and once you lose your borders like we have, you no longer have a country.
There you go. We no longer have a country because you lost elections, you lost borders. And here he's just going all over the place. Now he went from speech to losing elections and losing borders.
Furthermore, to confront the problems of major platforms being infiltrated by legions of former deep staters and intelligence officials.
The problems. I'm sure these companies are hiring former intelligence officials because they want to be able to know how to spot things like the terrorism that you supposedly want to stop. He earlier said that he wants to stop, make it harder for people to spread terrorist information on their websites. So what if I was owning a company? I would hire people who were in the intelligence industry, or intelligence field, I should say. I would hire them to help me spot those things. Now he wants to lock people up or prevent them from being able to serve and do the tasks that he wants them to do.
There should be a 7-year cooling off period before any employee of the FBI, CIA, NSA, DNI, DHS, or DOD is allowed to take a job at a company possessing vast quantities of U.S. user data.
So that's a very vague statement. Vast amounts of user data. That could be anything.
Fifth, the time has finally come for Congress to pass it.
Wait, didn't he already say fifth? He already took the fifth. Many times.
Words, deprive them of their vote. And once you lose those elections, and once you lose your borders like we have, you no longer have a country. Furthermore, to confront the problems of major platforms,
Hold on.
Criminal penalty for a period of 5 years and maybe more. We should also enact new laws laying out clear criminal penalties for federal bureaucrats who partner with private entities to do an end run around the Constitution and deprive Americans of their
I think he said
Congress to
fifth already,
pass
but I'm not
a
worried
digital
about it.
Bill of Rights. Fifth, the time has finally come for Congress to pass
he said so many things as far to first, second, third, fourth, fifth that I believe that he's on like the 12th point right now, but for some reason I think he said fifth earlier, but I really don't want to hunt it down.
Digital Bill of Rights. This should include a right to digital due process. In other words,
digital due process.
Government officials should need a court order to take down online content, not send information requests such as the FBI was sending to Twitter.
If the FBI says, look, this is bad information or whatever, and Twitter goes, okay, and takes it down, again, that's not a violation of your free speech rights.
Furthermore, when users of big online platforms have their content or accounts removed, throttled, shadow banned, or otherwise restricted.
I'm sure Trump never heard about shadow banned until today and probably still doesn't know what the hell it means.
No matter what name they use, they should have the right to be informed that it's happening, the right to a specific explanation of the reason why, and the right to a timely appeal.
Look, I'm frustrated as hell when Facebook puts me in Facebook jail for stupid reasons, and twice they put me in Facebook jail for stupid reasons, and I appealed the process, and they immediately took me back out because they realized how stupid they were being. But again, that's not a government's business. It's more, as Nimbus Yosh says, hypocrisy is a conservative prerequisite. They want limited government, but they want governments to be this big to be able to do all this stuff that he's talking about. Come on.
In addition, all users over the age of 18 should have the right to opt out of content moderation and curation entirely and receive an unmanipulated stream of information if they so choose. The fight for free...
And you know what? If you were conservative and you believed that that's something that people wanted, Make your own website. Again, this is conservative hypocrisy. If you feel that there is a market for a not an ISP. If you feel that there is a market for a social media platform that would have unfiltered data like that and allow people to do that, build it. And if people want that site and think that feature of that website is a attractive thing and therefore they would want to take advantage of it, they'll come to your site. But if they don't, like, why are you having government tell a private business what they can or can't do with how they display the data? I mean, I get annoyed on Facebook when it opts to most recent instead of just showing all comments. It's aggravating, but I just have to click all comments and there you go, I see it. But I don't think the government should be telling Facebook that I should be able to opt in for all comments. Now, if I want to tell Facebook, look, I think people should be able to opt in for all comments, and Facebook thinks it's a good idea, great, they'll do it. But it's none of government's business to tell Facebook to do that. It's more sheer conservative hypocrisy. Small government, except for when we want it to be small.
Free speech is a matter of victory or death for America and for the survival of Western civilization itself. When I am president, this whole rotten system of censorship and information control will be ripped out of the system at large.
I'm sure it won't. I'm sure you'll just implement your own version of censorship that's going to shut down anybody who opposes your misinformation, whilst making sure that the people that post misinformation that benefits you is going to be allowed to do so without any sort of repercussion. You're going to go after the people who use their First Amendment rights to criticize the speech of the people who are spreading the misinformation.
There won't be anything left. By restoring free speech,
there won't be anything left. I think that's the most truthful thing he said ever. If we elect Donald Trump, there won't be anything left.
We'll begin to reclaim our democracy and save our nation. Thank you, and God bless America.
I did not sneeze. Yeah. So this is what Herr Donald wants to do. This is dangerous. This is absolutely dangerous. He wants to use government to make sure that his propaganda can't be challenged. He wants to make sure that his propaganda can't be challenged and that he'll go after anybody in the government who stands up to his propaganda. Sound familiar? If that doesn't terrify you, then you haven't learned from history. If that doesn't terrify you, then maybe you should talk to a few more Jewish people. If that doesn't terrify you, maybe you need to go relearn about the rise of the Nazi Party and how they eliminated dissenting speech in their government. This is pure 100% Hitler playbook. 101. Maybe 102 now, because 101 was scapegoating an entire religion and calling the press the lying press. This takes that to the next level. Not the scapegoating an entire religion, but this takes it to the next level of not only calling the press the lying press, not only calling them fake news, but making sure that anybody who dissents loses federal funding, loses the ability to get financial aid if possible, taking away any sort of support that might happen for anybody who simply chooses to say Donald Trump's information is incorrect, here's why, and if you dare use your position to state these things because maybe you're an expert on these things, then guess what? You're going to get fired, you're going to potentially get prosecuted in some sort of kangaroo type court, you're going to be somebody who's going to you're either going to get arrested, get fired, or get forced into submission. And that's how Nazis win. That's how Hitler won. Well, there's other political shenanigans like, setting the people against each other. And they also did that as well. Anyway, so let's now scroll back. I know Gibson Media, who's somebody who has called in the past. We're not live on Blog Talk Radio today, so we're not doing call-ins today. But we're going to go back and scroll through some of the chat of some of what I might have missed. Hey, Bicycle Mike. what's going on. I guess I should say hello to Gibson Media for joining us. Even though you disagree, I do thank you for joining us. So we're gonna scroll back up and we're gonna see. Let's see. Can I copy all of this to make sure that it doesn't scroll out of the way, and therefore that might be the best thing to do if I wanna go over what other people have said. So let's go. Let's copy that. Go into Notepad or some text editor. See if it works if I paste it. If not, okay, here we go. So let's scroll all the way back up the chat. We'll put it over here. So oh, I lost my page because I hit the wrong button, or not the wrong button, but I clicked off the tab. Here's a clue. Nazis weren't actually socialists. Yes, Kimchi says that. Gibson Media, which NFT are you buying, to Cowboy or Tuxedo Donnie? You cannot be Jewish or have family converted to Jews and be a Nazi. That's absolutely incorrect, Gibson Media. The fact that you could hate Jews except for the people in your family, the exception is the rule. You must have missed that video that I posted about that. But even if it's just absurd that you can't sit there and say that there are people that are good on the one side of the Charlottesville riot, the Charlottesville protest or whatever. You can't say that the people marching alongside Nazis were good people and not be a Nazi sympathizer. Sorry, it's not how it works. Fraud book bans everything. I've seen Facebook not ban many things that go against their policies because it's conservative folks. Is Captain Ketchup going to start defending fake news at his rallies? I mean, he's not going to defend fake news. He's going to push fake news, his own fake news, while calling other people's news fake news. Because that's let's go back to what Donald Trump was doing, and the Notepad thing isn't working that way, so I'm going to just scroll back again. Let's go back to what Donald Trump did in 2016. What he was able to do by calling them fake news, by calling out the media preemptively and telling you that the news is going to be lying about him. It then tells his supporters, look, everything they're saying about me is false. Everything that they're going to say about me is false, so don't believe them preemptively, because he knows that what he's going to say is false. So he's going to make it so that he's going to beat them to the punch. He's going to say, look, what they're lying about me, and in reality, he's the one that's lying. So that's what Hitler did. That's part of the Hitler playbook. He called the press the Lügen press. He called the press the lying press. Why? Because by making the people distrust the press from the start, it makes the press less capable of being able to point out the problems with what's being said. So, hey Dan, come on, what has Trump done? Everything. Oh, I did see that already. Okay, look at we talked about that already. Trumping is doing us a favor. He's destroying the Republican Party. Give him more rope. I mean, I would love to see that. Here's the problem with that, Seha. The problem with that is, sometimes the Democrats are not good at that. They give Trump more rope, and then it ends up helping him win. Like, there are some people who probably thought that Trump winning the nomination in 2016 would have given the Democrats the seat, but that's not what happened. So we have to be careful when we're giving people rope that they're not going to use the rope to hang us instead. See, Kimchi Gibson Media is a treasonous, traitorous racist who sexually assaults 13-year-olds who look like Ivanka. Tim Farrell, I wonder who wrote this. Are you talking about who wrote his speech? Elizabeth Beerhall Putsch, that was 2016, exactly. In Texas, they're making a list of transgender people. What's next? Camps and gas chambers. Yeah, and again, it's not just Trump who are pushing these things. You have DeSantis, you have Abbott, you have all of these people who are trying to push, makes lists of people who are trying to restrict freedoms, restrict rights in the name of freedom. they're going to make you believe that what they're doing is in the name of freedom, when in reality it's the exact opposite of that. Gibson Media, his kids are Jewish converted. One of his kids married a Jewish person, and Donald Trump walked around apparently when they were dating and referred to him as the Jew. So don't tell me that he was not anti-Semitic. I mean, he had his racist and anti-Semitic rant about how he wouldn't want black people handling his money. He wants the ones with yarmulkes running it, dealing with his money because that's what they do best or whatever. Because he's an anti-Semite. He's pushing the trope that is Jews are good with money, therefore Jews are therefore responsible for all these things, and therefore they're responsible for all these bad things. And that's what fuels the hatred of Jewish people, and what increases hate crimes against Jewish people. It's why we've seen a 50% increase in hate crimes against Jews in New York in the past year, I think it was. Yeah, Liana, no camps yet. National. I don't know what Gibson Media was saying national security for. That's one of the things, though, is that when you respond in the chat, it's always responding late to what I see because of the delay. So therefore, if you just say national security, I don't know what you're responding to most times. Let's see. You see how he hates Muslims, Jews, gays, and he loves white supremacists. Trump equals Nazi. Exactly. Come on, we know the corporate news never always reports the facts. I don't know what that means, but no, they do report the facts. It's just sometimes they report. Some people report, focus on these other facts. Some people focus on these facts, and then you watch a bunch and you find the truth somewhere in the middle of it. Kimchi, a million people died of COVID while he pushed horse paste and internal light and pushing disinfectants in the lungs. He lied about the numbers and wanted to let it ride. Yeah, he lied about the numbers. He even admitted to Woodward that he downplayed the threat because he loves to sugarcoat things. He didn't want it to look. That's why he told people to stop. He begged for them to stop testing, because by testing you reveal more of the numbers. I mean, he said if you have more testing, you have more cases. Well, no. We always had the cases. It's just whether or not we know about them or not. Had he done a more robust testing of the United States population during COVID, we might have had a better handle on where the virus was spreading at any given time. And as such, we might not have had to do a nationwide shutdown. We could have done targeted shutdowns and made it a lot less harsh on the local economies. But no, he didn't want to do that, because by doing that, he would have had to have admitted that more people had the virus than we thought. As it came out later that COVID was not here in January 1st, it was here like in November at the first. Let's see. Say how suspend the Constitution, make me president equals dictator. Yeah, that's another thing. He basically said that we should suspend the Constitution in order to and make him be president. That's ridiculous. See, Sehab wasn't listening or responding because he can't. Gibson, true history on WW2, greatest story ever told. Please watch and prove the documentary wrong. I'm not sure what you're talking about with that, and to how it rebuts the fact that Donald Trump is using Hitler's playbook. Gibson Media, which end of, yeah, we're already got to that already. Again, Gibson talking about that you can't be Jewish or have family. There were Jewish people in World War II, Gibson Media. There were Jewish people who supported Hitler because they didn't believe that he would come for them. They thought, oh, he's not really going to do what he's saying that he's going to do. He's just doing that to get elected. We'll be fine, is what they thought. They said all Trump supporters are rubes who fell for a grifter in Russian propaganda. In other words, suckers. Yep, suckers born every minute, and a fool of his money are soon parted. That's why you have these NFTs that are going to be taken off amongst the conservative blogosphere. I can't wait. I want to call into that conservative radio show tomorrow that I listen to and be like, hey, who all is buying one of these Trump NFTs? Who's going to spend that $99 and who's going to spend the $4,500 in order to make sure that they could be guaranteed to be part of the dinner at Mar-a-Lago? Gibson Media, you should not be banned for that. I'm not sure what I should not be banned for. Fake news, block them, but don't block me. First Amendment Republican equals hypocrites. Exactly. Alternative facts, that's right, Tim. It's called alternative facts. That's what we learned. Dan, I challenged you a one-on-one discussion on the facts of liberal versus conservative policy failures. Simulcast my podcast with yours. Sure, absolutely. Come on, we can do it. Email me, liberaldanradio@gmail.com. I would absolutely accept your challenge to do that. We can do it. Let's do it. Maggots are in cult, led by the nose. Yeah. 2 words, Matt Gaetz snorting coke off a 17-year-old hooker's ass. Exactly. That's why I basically called, when people are talking about the Twitter files, I'm like, well, Matt Gaetz is one of the files on Twitter. Gibson is throwing it down because he wants the publicity. I mean, look, I threw it down with Kyle Rittenhouse, too. I said, look, Kyle Rittenhouse begged on Twitter. He was like, hey, I want to debate people who think that I'm factually guilty. I want to sit down and have a conversation with him. I said, look, call him a podcast. I'd be more than happy to have that conversation with you. Did he accept the offer? No, because he's a coward. So there you go. He's a coward and he won't do it. And people are trying to say that I'm doing it just for notoriety. I'm like, I would do it if I had 1 million followers or if I had 1, because the amount of followers that I have isn't the issue here. The issue here is he wants to have a conversation with somebody who he's going to be able to win an argument with, because he's hoping that such people are going to repeat the lies. For example, like he brought a gun across state lines, which he didn't. But I've made it clear that I'm not going to tell those lies. I'm just going to tell what I believe are my truths, and we're going to talk about the laws and what he was there to do was not legal in the first place, and go from there. WATP, why should Dan waste his time debating people who live in a fantasy? I'm fine debating. I mean, Gibson called in. I think I hung up on him once for something ridiculous he said, but if he'll behave, we can have him come back on and we can have the discussion or the debate, etc. Again, I'm fine with it. So I hate to agree with Candy Striper, but when I see a MAGA hat, the first thing to cross the street because they're stupid and dangerous like a rabid fox. Elizabeth, I have filthy rich relatives. I'm happy to them. I'm poor in cash, but their soul is intact. I'm blessed by God for the love and happiness I experience. Yes, see how smash and grab a like for liberty. I see 28 concurrent viewers or 27 concurrent viewers now and 21 likes. Smash those like buttons, folks. Shadow banning is not any sort of, it's not illegal censorship. It's maybe censorship, but it's not illegal censorship. It's not a violation of First Amendment rights. Because again, if you want to throttle, I guess, whatever posts that I have, and because you feel that my content is not beneficial to your platform, then you're free to do so. And I'm not going to cry about it. I mean, it might suck. I might complain about it. I might be like, oh, I think I'm shadow banned, blah, blah, blah. But it's not illegal. It's not illegal to shadow ban. See, Kimchi, facts, ivermectin does not help COVID. Biden won. Vaccines work. Trump is a narcissist, is fascist. You're in a death cult. Exactly. Anastasia, he censors all the time on his bootleg website. Yeah, I mean, these conservatives are hypocrisy. They will probably kick anybody off of Truth Social who doesn't agree with them, but he wants to punish anybody else who does the same thing. I guarantee you, on Truth Social, he's done all of the things that he's complaining that other social media companies are doing. Because again, conservatives don't like to be told what to do, but they love to tell other people what they should do. Let's see. Julie Swenson says, good night. I'm sure I missed you already, but thank you, Julie Swenson, the first Liberal Dan Radio producer. Thank you for supporting the show, as always. C45 sitting in a wheelchair in a white hospital outfit doing pretend elections and debates with other patients in La La Land. The nurses will set up a whole room with flags and a podium. I can promise you that there will be more pudding on Tuesdays. Yes, it was torture to listen to Trump bullshit, absolutely. But I suffer through it for y'all. It has to be criticized. There needs to be criticism of what he says. Of course, he's going to view that as me censoring him because I'm calling what he's saying misinformation and dangerous. But he doesn't understand what censorship is, or what a violation of the First Amendment is. So. Let's see. Trump is done. Even the Republicans are turning on him somewhat. But again, there's enough Republicans who like him that might be able to get him to vote to run third party, maybe. And then that's an interesting dilemma that is faced by what happens in that election if he runs third party. Does it help Biden win re-election? Or whoever the Democrat is win election in the first place? Or is he able to smart and play smart and win the election with the least amount of work possible. So those threatened by Trump, according to Gibson Media, include deep state actors, globalists, bankers, Islamists, and establishment Republicans. Nope. Sorry, I'm none of those things. I'm not a deep state actor. I'm not a globalist. I'm not a banker. I'm not an Islamist, and I'm not an establishment Republican, but Trump's words have oftentimes encouraged and gave aid and comfort to domestic terrorists, gave aid and comfort to Nazis who live in this country. And when Nazis feel aid and comfort, they are a bigger threat to me. So yes, I am threatened by Trump, and it has nothing to do with what you just said. Or what you said a few minutes ago, I should suppose at this part. Say, what the fuck is digital due process? Obviously, child porn is good to get a court order. Nice. Cynthia, I'm going through it again. First time I was doing too many double takes. What exactly? Gibson Media, no one threatened by the illiterate idiot traitor. I mean, I'm not threatened directly from him, but his actions are dangerous because it helps to encourage and embolden the other people who are white supremacists, who are Nazis, who want to see me dead. Again, as Patty Beck says, Nazi effing traitor, NFT. It's cute you said globalists when you meant Jews. Nice dog. Well, yeah, that's, I mean, I'm getting frustrated trying to explain to people when they say globalists or when they bring up George Soros, how they're just being anti-Semitic, but they don't want to hear it. They're not going to be convinced. No, I'm not talking about Jews. I'm just talking about globalists. And then, the people who know that globalist means Jews are like, hey, he's really talking about the Jews. Gibson Media, the deep state legal activists who use the Freedom of Information Act to target disgruntled career federal workers who use encrypted software to make anonymous political comment and render unflattering Trump. What? Come on. Where's the tinfoil hat? Ooh. Cups fell. Let's see. Bill Crap. Oh crap, friends follow me, blah, blah, blah. Every new president brings in office political appointees who are wary of bureaucrats. Make it a wonderful Christmas and rest in the organization. That would be nice. Christmas Eve, Donald Trump gets walked away in handcuffs. God bless us, everyone. Gives to me that many agree with Bannon's concept of a deep state, but are uncomfortable with that language. I mean, what the deep state is. Well, all the deep state is the people who have worked for government who are not political appointees. Like, my dad worked as a software developer for Social Security for, I think, 40 years. Technically, he was part of the deep state. His job wasn't a political appointment. His job was as a civil servant. He worked in the government. He did his job for the government to allow the government to do their job. That's what these people do. They are the gears that help the government to work. They're not some sort of nefarious cabal of people intent on destroying Donald Trump. They're just people who do their work. Let's see. Trump is grasping at straws, trying to find the next thing to up his base. He just played out. I mean, well, that's what the NFTs are for. The base is going to love that. They're going to see those shiny things. Ooh, I want the Trump with laser beams. I should have opened it back up and seen like how I order it. Can I order specific ones, or is it like a magic card where I get a random one? Let's go to that and just see again. Collect trumpcards.com. Let's click on the buy now button and see what it gives us on the buy now button. I'm kind of scared to click this. I don't want to get screwed over. So, Bicycle Mike, and then they come for the Jews. Exactly. And then there's nobody, again, they come for the Jews. They come for the trade unionists. They come for everybody else. Then there's no one else to protect you when they come after you instead. He forced the gun clubs, the music and knitting clubs to bow or leave town or get shot in the back. I missed what that was about. Trump staff appointee has experience in previous Republican administration to various degrees. Political appointees, agencies with agenda to shrink the bureaucracy and make government less intrusive. But Gibson, that's total BS. It's total BS that Trump at all wants to make government less intrusive. He just admitted to wanting to make government more intrusive. He wants government to be more intrusive. He wants government to step in and stop these people, stop colleges and private businesses and anybody else from taking these steps that's going to censor the people who he doesn't believe should be censored. Republicans want small government until they don't. Republicans want a government so small that it'll fit inside a vagina. But then Republicans want a big government because they like to be able to use government to tell other people what to do. Government jobs are notoriously not that difficult. Well, here's the thing: what you had the saying that good enough for government work. Now it means like it'll pass. It's good enough. It's not something that's wonderful, but it'll get a C. It won't get an A, but it'll get a C. Used to be that when you said good enough for government work, that meant this is high quality work. It used to mean that this is the best you could do. That's what it used to be. Gibson Media, to say all globalists are Jews is nonsense. Nobody is saying all globalists are Jews. What we're saying is that when you say globalists, that people really hear what you're saying is Jews. It's an attack on the Jews. Go look at the Anti-Defamation League. Look at many other Jewish websites that talk about how tropes are used to push anti-Semitic ideas throughout the populace, and you'll see how the term globalist has been used as an attack against Jewish people as a whole. Let's see. Madonna works for the VA, long hour, not great pay. Deep state used to be called bureaucracies. Exactly. Musk is now a globalist who runs a conglomerate globalist company, and the right loves him. They're so simply nonsensical. Exactly. It gives some your arguments are high school at best. You're clueless about these things. Homework recommended. Yes. You should listen to more Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left. That's right. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central. blogtalkradio.com/liberaldan or youtube.com/liberaldanradio, or on random nights such as this when Donald Trump does something completely dangerous and scary, and as such I want to make sure to make some commentary on it too. Was that speech he gave done today? I don't know when his free speech plan, let's see, Donald Trump free speech platform. We'll see when that comes up. 8 hours ago, Trump vows free speech reform government, but if elected in 2024. Donald Trump on Thursday announced an aggressive and ambitious plan. So the speech was released today. So that was something that was released. I don't know when he actually made the speech, but it was released today. So it's just another one of his. I guess it was the announcement that wasn't the announcement. Maybe that's what he was trying to do with the whole Nazi effing traitor cards. That maybe he wanted to put that out first as the big announcement to let everybody make fun of the cards, and so they'll be distracted by the big shiny things. So then he could post this fascist drivel, fascist authoritarian drivel on video out there to basically show what he will do as president if reelected. And this video should, anybody who loves freedom, anybody who loves the freedom of speech should be absolutely terrified by what Donald Trump said in this video. But the apologists for Trump are going to be like, oh, well, he didn't really mean that. He didn't really say that. He was just joking, or they're just going to applaud what he says without actually understanding what the implications are. Because in reality, he's not going to want the fairness doctrine back. He's not going to want everybody to be able to be uncensored on every platform. He's only going to be going after those platforms that are leftist, those platforms that are liberal, those platforms that attack conservatism, those platforms that attack the ideas that conservatives talk about. That's what's going to be going on about. Gives me a Brookings Institute scholar who directed the multi-year effort from the White House under President Al Gore. Let's see. Even your statistics are without context, therefore not germane to the conversation. Exactly. Gibson media, that isn't a real sentence. Federal employees, to their credit, are committed to faithfully executing the laws no matter what party holds the White House. I mean, I would say that's a true statement. However, the fact is that when you're attacking the deep state, you're attacking those people because they're trying to do a job, and when they do a job and it actually punishes Republicans, then people cry about the deep state. If it would punish a Democrat, Like, notice the Justice Department is actually doing an investigation into Hunter Biden for things other than the laptop, but they're not complaining that it's a witch hunt there because they don't like Hunter Biden. Even though the fact that if you believe the Hunter Biden laptop story, you are the most gullible person in the world. If you believe that Hunter Biden traveled across the country just to use that one computer repair shop from the one guy who wouldn't be able to see his face to be able to confirm that it was his face on the person who gave the laptop for repair. Like, it's absurd to believe that was true. If you believe it's true, I have a bridge in Brooklyn I'd like to sell you. Venmo me for more details. See how if you're free to speak, you're also free to suffer the consequences of what you say. Exactly. Your right to free speech does not protect that speech from criticism. I'm free to criticize you. I'm also free to criticize you here without you responding. You know, you're free to criticize me on your platform without me responding. And if we decide that we do want to merge together and have a discussion about the facts, we can do that too. And if for some reason I get aggravated with you and I decide to hang up on you for that, well, guess what? That's not a violation of your free speech rights either, because I am not required to post your stuff for you. If you're free to speak your mind, you're free to say what you want to say, but you're not free to force me to be a platform for it. And that's what Donald Trump wants to have happen. They want to make sure that conservatives can't get kicked off social media for sharing the conservative lies and for sharing the propaganda, because he wants to be able to share propaganda, because that's what Nazis do. Who would trust a blind man? I mean, it's possible that he wasn't, like, he was maybe been nearsighted but not farsighted. It's possible that he knew what he was doing, or with the help of magnifying glasses he would be able to see the work that he was doing, no problem, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not begrudging somebody with a visual disability from having work. That's fine. What I'm begrudging is the idea that Hunter Biden, out of all the computer repairmen and all across the country, when he lived in California, he was like, oh, I'm going to fly to Delaware and use this guy. There's no evidence that he ever used that guy before. And there's no way to know that the laptop was in any way, shape, or form valid. I mean, you have that one hack that said it's valid, but Hal Sparks went over that a bunch too, and he was basically arguing a whole bunch of nonsense that, oh, well, it looks genuine. Well, how does it look genuine? You don't even know that it's from the laptop. It's just a hard drive. It's not a laptop. It's ridiculous. As Elizabeth, Article 1 of the Constitution is a legislation for a reason. Exactly. Hunter Biden, that's a Trump grift. Trucker John, he can see 6 inches in front of his face. Yeah, he can have a computer up this close and be like, oh, I'm fixing this computer, but he can't see the person who handed him the computer. It could have been Rudy Giuliani for all we know. It's ridiculous. When Democrats come to Washington, they arrive as an army of liberation. They turn to the civil service and say, we love you, go forth and get 1,000 followers. I don't understand what that means either. The Kiki Streets, yeah, computer repair shop has no video surveillance. I also was wondering about that as well. How, if I had a computer store, if I had any sort of a storefront, I would want to make sure that I had video surveillance. So if anything went wrong, if anything got stolen, if I got robbed or whatever, attacked, I would have video evidence to show this is the person who robbed me. They could show no video evidence that Hunter Biden went into that location, really? And you expect me to believe that it was Hunter Biden that did it? No, absolutely not. 100%. No. But we're getting way off topic, and I do have to go to sleep at sometime soon. So it's very well possible that I may go ahead and cut this up and share them into separate videos, because there pretty much were 2 topics. You had the topic about the Trump NFT, and you had the topic about about his whole fascist, free speech plan that's utterly dangerous. It's Nazi. It's a Nazi type plan. If Trump gets his way and is able to get that done, he's going to be able to silence his critics, and he's going to use government to silence his critics. And no one will be able to question him because he'll shut everyone down. Just like Elon Musk did over on Twitter when he shut down the reporters and banned them from using the site just because they reported about him. 2021 interview with CBS correspondent Tracy Smith, when he asked the laptop was his, Hunter Biden replied he didn't know. Later, he didn't remember dropping off a laptop in Delaware for repairs. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, first of all, he did I think we all know that Hunter Biden has a drug problem because of the pain that happens, I think, from the car accident that he was in. And, you know, you should feel sorry for him for that. You shouldn't be trying to go after him for that. Furthermore, again, if he doesn't remember doing it, then why would we believe that he did it? I mean, maybe he's lying, sure. But I think it's more likely that the other people are lying simply because of the fact that the story is so absurd. It's such an absurd story that anyone believes it. Again, I have a bridge in Brooklyn that I want to sell you. Venmo me the money, or buy me lots of ciders. Buy me 1,000 ciders. Non-fungible ciders. Buy me a non-fungible cider. An NFC, if you will. Or NFC. Not the AFC. But remember, again, as Patty Buck says, Nazi effing traitor is what the Trump NFT should stand for. So, but this is the end of this. Thank you very much for watching. For all who joined, I appreciate y'all. This will be live to share. I mean, again, it's a little long of a video. I might try and cut it up and put it into 2 separate videos as well, so you can share those as well. But I think this is an important episode to share with your friends, simply because of the fact that it's what Trump is doing with the NFTs is so ridiculous, but what Trump is doing with the other issue, with the freedom of speech issues, supposed freedom of speech issues, are so dangerous that they actually threaten the country. They actually threaten the people in this country, and they threaten the ability of anybody in this country to stand up against the misinformation of Donald Trump and his minions. So, again, thank everybody for joining me. If for some of y'all might have seen in the last minute, some of you might have seen on Twitter earlier today that I was going to do this show after the live stream on Twitch. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet here, please remember to subscribe. Remember to like the video, share it with your friends, etc. There's not really any show ending for today, so we're just going ahead and shut it off and then start the music again. So again, thank you very much. Stay tuned for if there's more videos over the weekend. Instead, remember, join me Tuesday, twitch.tv/nerdydan.com, and on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Central, blogtalkradio.com/liberaldan, or here, Liberal Dan Radio on YouTube. Good night, all.